The NFL somehow always manages to ruin my weekend, and it did just that, watching the Saints play the Philadelphia Eagles. But that doesn't matter, because it's week 4, and we've got game picks. Game picks. We're going to start it on Thursday night. We have the Cowboys and the Giants, and as someone who lives in Texas, this is probably the most important game of the week to many. But I couldn't care less. This is going to be, I think, one of the worst games of the week. I think Dallas is going to get back to week 1 form, at least to a certain extent, and the Giants just also kind of suck. Malik Neighbors is pretty good, but Daniel Jones is not. And I believe in Dak Prescott for some reason. I got the Cowboys 34-17. As we move on to the weekend, to Sunday, first up, we got Bengals-Panthers. You know, the Bengals have really been surprising to start the year. They've kind of sucked. They're 0-3. You know who sucked more? The Panthers. Even though Andy Dalton kind of became the Panthers' Jesus for a week last week. They're playing the Raiders. I think that Joe Burrow and the Bengals are much better than the Raiders. I think Slim Shiesty will get it going this week. They'll put it all together. They'll finally get in the win column. I got the Bengals 30-20. I think Dalton will make it at least relatively competitive. But I got the Bengals. Now moving on. It's Homer time. It's Saints game time. We got the Saints and the Falcons. So, looking at this game, the Saints coming off a rough loss at home against the Eagles, as I said earlier, and the Falcons coming off what is considered possibly a rigged loss against the two-time defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. And I think this game is going to be pretty even. I think it's going to be actually a really, really good football game. Kirk Cousins is starting to find his groove a little bit. Oh, I'm uncomfortable. Okay, Kirk Cousins is starting to find his groove a little bit. Derek Carr, I think, will get back to doing what he does best. The big determiner, I think, in this game is going to be injuries for the Saints. Eric McCoy, if you follow the Saints, Eric McCoy got hurt. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks. He's having surgery. Taysom Hill is out right now. We don't know if he's going to play. Just a lot of injuries, a lot of small injuries across the board for New Orleans. But I think if everyone plays, and I think if both these teams play up to their full potential, I think the Saints will squeak this one out. I got the Saints 27-24. Who dat, baby? I also really don't want to lose to Atlanta. I don't like Atlanta. Moving on to probably an easier game to call. We got Jags-Texans. The Jaguars have been absolutely awful to start the season with Trevor Lawrence looking like Zach Wilson. But the Texans were a bit of an enigma last week. They got their butts handed to them by Bo Nix and the Broncos. I still got C.J. Stroud coming back and having a solid week. I have C.J. Stroud with a little bit of a sophomore slump this year. That was my prediction, but I think that he's still going to have a great game here against the Jags. I think they're going to win this one pretty handily. I got him 31-20 Texans. As we move on, we were just talking about Zach Wilson, talking about his former team and his current team now. Broncos-Jets. Another pretty interesting game, actually. Aaron Rodgers maybe starting to find himself again, maybe took some more ayahuasca recently. But Bo Nix looked absolutely incredible last week against the Texans that we were just talking about. And I also really love Sean Payton. I think that man is an offensive mastermind. I think he can do anything with a young quarterback in Bo Nix. And I think Rodgers is just too old. I don't think he's going to be able to sustain success. As a lot of pundits have said that before, and they've gotten their butts handed to them by Rodgers. But I think that the Broncos will squeeze this one out. I got Broncos 20-17. As we go to a divisional battle, this is a good one. The 3-0 Vikings versus the 2-1 Packers. I would have loved this game if Jordan Love was playing, but Malik Willis is the Packers quarterback. Jordan Love is not healthy at this moment in time. Sam Darnold has looked kind of good for some reason, but I don't think it'll last. I think it's going to come crashing down this week. I'm going to take the Packers. I think that defense is good enough to somehow squeeze out a win here. I think it's a low-scoring game. I got 21-13 Packers. I think that, like the Saints did last week, the Vikings offense is going to come screeching to a halt. And this game's in Lambeau, so I think that's going to play a big factor. I think the the Lambeau Leap will be seen. We'll have a Lambeau Leap sighting next week. We go into Steelers-Colts. The Colts have not been that consistent. I think consistency would be the opposite of how I would describe their season so far. But I'm an Anthony Richardson believer, certified AR-15 believer. I think he's going to have a great game. And the Steelers offense, I don't know what I think about. I don't think it's going to be able to keep up with Anthony Richardson. I think he's going to explode next week. I got Colts 28-17. Although I hope Justin Fields has a good career, I don't think it's going to happen here on this day. We got our next matchup. Rams, Bears. I hate the Rams, but the Bears kind of suck. Caleb Williams just hasn't been a first-round pick type of guy. He's already been getting out and played by Jaden Daniels, who we will talk about later. Jaden Daniels. But that offense for the Bears is still trying to find itself. 3 really good receivers, but Williams hasn't really been able to connect with Odunze, with Allen, with Moore yet. So I think the Rams will take this one. I got 20-10. Puka's out, Kupp's out, but I think that Matt Stafford will still find a way with Kyren Williams in the backfield. I think they'll be A-okay in that game. And then we go to Eagles-Bucks, another really solid game. As much as it pains me to say that, I got the Bucks in this game. I got the Bucks by a point, 28-27. Watching the Eagles play last week, their offense doesn't excite me. I don't know if Devontae Smith's going to play because he got destroyed on a really big hit from a Saints D lineman last week. But I don't know if the Eagles' offense is consistent enough. That defense is definitely there. But Baker also had a bad week last week, so I think it's going to be a big rebound week for both these offenses. But I think the Bucks will take this one by a point. I think I said 28-27. Baker will bake. And then we go Pats 49ers. I mean, I don't think this is going to be close at all. As much as I want Jacoby Brissett to be like Tom Brady, he is not, sadly. So I got the San Fran 34-13. Purdy is going to do Purdy things. He's going to be good in that offense. I think Kittle should be coming back this week. I think he was hurt last week. Still no McCaffrey, but I think that offense will be just fine, especially against the Patriots, a team that's definitely rebuilding at this current moment in time. And then, what are those sirens? Do I hear that? Do you hear that? It's the game of the week. Game of the week. I accidentally kissed my microphone. Commanders, Cardinals. I love me some Jaden Daniels, and I also love me some Kyler Murray. We got 2 really entertaining mobile quarterbacks here in this game. Jaden Daniels, we talked about a little bit earlier. He just went toe-to-toe with Joe Burrow, who I believe is a top 5 quarterback in the entire NFL. Obviously, it wasn't Burrow's fault they gave up 38 points to Jaden Daniels, but Daniels looked exceptional last week. He had a great deep ball to Terry McLaurin. He's starting to click in that offense a little bit better. But him and Kyler, they're both so dangerous with their legs. I think Kyler and the Cardinals are going to be able to pull this one out. I think Jaden is going to have a great career, but I don't know if he's going to be able to see the same level of success that he saw last week. So I'm going to take the Cardinals. I have them 30-27. I think it's going to be an entertaining game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think we're going to see a lot of running yards. I think my pick of the game, if anyone gambles, I'm going to take QB rush yards over 75. I think it's going to be entertaining in that facet. And we got another really good game. We got a nice divisional matchup, Chiefs-Chargers. This one depends. I think if I've heard the reports that Justin Herbert might not play, I think that he probably will play, especially playing against the 2-time defending champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, trying to go for a three-peat. So if Herbert plays, I have the Chargers 24-21. Mahomes he's been good, but he hasn't been Mahomes so far, and they haven't used Kelsey as much as a lot of us would have liked to see, as much as the Swifties have liked to see. One would argue that the refs kind of bailed him out last week, and it's debatable. I'm not going to anger. I have a friend who's a Chiefs fan, so I'm not going to anger him. I have a couple friends who are Chiefs fans. I'm not going to anger them. But I think that Mahomes' inconsistency is going to probably continue a little bit here. I think that the Chargers, they have a new offensive identity with Jim Harbaugh. They got J.K. Dobbins in that backfield who somehow isn't hurt yet. So if Herbert plays, I have him 24-21. If Herbert doesn't play, I think this is going to be a 10-plus point Chiefs win, but I think Herbert will play. So I got the Chargers. That's my kind of mini upset of the week. And we go from a great game to an absolutely abysmal game that I don't want to watch. This is probably my game that I would not like to watch the least. Browns Raiders. We've got P. Diddy's best friend and Gardner Minshew, who belongs in a J. Crew catalog. That's the word, catalog. J. Crew catalog. But I still have the Browns winning. I think their defense is better than the Raiders' defense, and I think that the rest of that offense will be able to do a little bit more than the Raiders' offense. I have it a low-scoring game, 14-10. I am hoping for Minshew Mania, though. I hope that he does win that game, but I don't think that it's going to happen. Wow, this has been the theme. We've had a lot of really, really good games so far this week. We got Bills-Ravens. Buffalo is contending to possibly be one of the best teams in the entire league. So this is a tough pick because I really am a Lamar Jackson believer, and I do like Josh Allen a lot too. But I'm gonna pick Buffalo. I'm gonna ride with Buffalo. I have him 28-24. On a side note, what has been going on with Justin Tucker? I saw a stat he's missed like a field goal in each of his first 3 games. What's going on, bud? You're supposed to be the record holder. You're supposed to be the guy. But I just think that the Bills are gonna have a little bit more. I think they're a little bit more of a complete team. But I do think it's going to be a really exceptional game to watch. I think it's going to be a really entertaining game. I think that's Sunday Night Football, if I'm not mistaken, as well. And then we move to Monday, everyone's favorite day of the week. We got Monday, starting them off with everyone's favorite matchup of the week, Titans-Dolphins. Yes! I'm also not thrilled to watch this game. I don't think I will watch this game. You got Will Levis versus, I presume, Skylar Thompson? No, I don't want to watch this either. I think I might rather watch the P. Diddy game. But I'm talking about the Browns. I don't actually. Yeah, okay. But I have the Dolphins in this game, 20-18. It's going to be another low-scoring affair. Will Levis, I hope that you provide us with another iconic picture here, Week 4. He's had the 3 to start the year. Excuse me. But yeah, I have the Dolphins 20-18. I think they're, as a team outside of quarterback, they're definitely better, and I think that'll be able to propel them over the top. Tyreek Hill, I don't know if Tyreek Hill's hurt right now. I heard something about that, but I think Tyreek Hill will probably play. Tyreek Hill will do Tyreek Hill things. I said Tyreek Hill way too many times in that sentence. And we close out the week with actually another really good matchup, Seahawks-Lions, to close out Monday night. Probably be doing my homework while this game's going on, but I think it's going to be an exceptional game. Seahawks-Lions, I have picked the Lions to win the Super Bowl, so I'll pick them to win this game. I cannot stray from my Super Bowl pick. I got the Lions 30-24. I do love the Geno Seahawks. I like Geno Smith a lot, actually. But I think the Lions are just a little bit better. Goff has been a little bit off to start the season. That's also a nice little rhyme. But I think that Dan Campbell's boys are going to be able to win this game. Probably by a score, like I said. But with that concludes game picks for this week. I'm assuming that I'll probably get most of them wrong, and you'll be able to laugh at me in the comments section. I'll laugh at myself next week's game picks episode. But thank you so much for listening to my possibly idiotic picks. And with all that being said, I'm Nate, and that's just my take. Thank you so much for watching.